Hey, this is Pradeep with Sensatura. Today we are looking at some musk fragrances. The ones I have for this video are not the sensual, warm, animalic sort of musk fragrances. That can be its own list. So there is no Musk Ravageur, Musk Tonka, or Musk Kublai Khan. These are more approachable, fresh, clean types of musks on skin scents. Obviously they are synthetic musks. I started appreciating them only after a while in this hobby. Of course, as usual at the beginning, I was looking for strong, rich, complex fragrances all the time. Even if it's fresh fragrances, I would go with something like a citrus aromatic rather than a white musk, because they can be too simple, unengaging, sometimes harsh and synthetic, even going as far as giving an impression that I'm not actually wearing a fragrance. But then I came across some good ones which made me appreciate this style. Still, it's a category I'm very particular about. Some have an entire collection of musk fragrances. In fact, the market is flooded by them right now. There are brands that do exclusively musk fragrances with minor variations. I don't think I need a lot of them. I mostly use them at home, at times for the office, or simply when I don't want something strong. Maybe when I'm leaving somewhere early or just came home late at night and don't want anything perfumey. Even maybe going to bed. One good thing about them is that they work pretty much anywhere, any time of the year. Having said all that, let's start the list in no particular order. The first couple are probably my top favorites in this style. This is Chanel 1957 from 2019, composed by Olivier Poge. This is a fresh, clean, optimistic take on musk, with just enough complexity to fit it in the exclusive collection. Apparently there are 7 types of musks here, which makes for this layered, multifaceted experience. There is also some aldehydes that keep shimmering away, some lemon, white florals done in this abstract fashion to support the musks. There is this floral, powdery iris, as one would expect, which just elevates the entire composition. A hint of honeyed sweetness. From the get-go, it's bright, sheer, clean. White is the color that keeps coming up in terms of visual references. They sort of oscillate between being soapy and cottony, clean, laundry-like. There are nods to some vintage Guerlain fragrances, even Clair du Musc from Serge Lutens, which once again hints at the involvement of Christopher Sheldrake. This in a way is responsible for launching the latest millennial musk wave. Lasts a good amount of time. It's not going to be an immediately appealing exclusive. Like I mentioned in my review, choosing to wear this is a way of implying that you have other exclusives at home. Staying with the same brand, this is what many consider to be the odd one of this collection, number 18 from 2007, composed by Jacques Polge and Christopher Sheldrake. I featured this in my list of non-citrus summer fragrances some time ago. Here, the musks are paired with iris, rose and ambrette, a combination that has been explored countless times. There are a few more even in this list. The presence of ambrette is what keeps this composition compelling for me. It has this unique medicinal, vegetal quality, something slightly off-kilter and strange. There is also a crystalline coolness at its heart, something shimmering over skin-like image. It is inspired by jewelry after all. Very refined. It's this interplay between the abstract and the corporeal that gives the fragrance its edge. There is the usual kind of implied sensuality, never overt. Just in terms of artistry, I find this to be more interesting than 1957. Next is a fragrance that I just reviewed. From 2018, Fleur de Peau from Diptyque, composed by Olivier Péchaud. This is part of what I like to call their musk trilogy, along with Orphéon and Le Papier. All three have made them one of the most popular mainstream fragrance brands on the planet. Of course, they had to capitalize, so there is an EDT version of this coming soon. The notes on this are pretty much identical to number 18, but they are fairly different smells. I find this to be more fluffy, cloudy, cottony, relaxed experience. It does not have anything sparkling or offbeat, very approachable. Plus, it's much more of a minimalistic skin scent, rather than the somewhat perfumey, classic Chanel. I would have liked it to push more, adding more engaging attributes. but still it has its uses and occasions. Staying in the same lane, but again a different fragrance. This is Odeur of the Châtelet Theatre, Act 1 from Comme, Garçons. In terms of scent, if I have to simplify it, I would say it brings in the iris, rose, ambrette, musk signature and takes it in a metallic direction built around rose oxide. Additionally, there is this dark roasted coffee and peppery cedar. It's more contemporary, literal, atmospheric, angular in terms of construction compared to the others. It goes for the more modern, industrial, molecular styling that Comme des Garçons is known for. Still manages to evoke this image of red velvet seats, carpets, screens, metal chairs, even lipstick and coffee as per the setting. Yet it's totally wearable. They even worked with the people running the theatre to create this scent, and it definitely shows. Next, let's do a couple which go more in the musky iris direction. This is Guerlain Iris Torréfié from 2020, composed by Delphine Gelc. This translates to roasted iris, seems to be a spin on the French word for coffee roasters. This is predominantly an iris composition. There is also some ambrette and suede-like inflection. It is actually in the style of Diorome kind of orris, so it has those lipsticky, makeup-like facets, only it has a classical character, more earthy and waxy. The ambrette brings in this musky, sort of powdery, textured dryness. They claim there is coffee and cardamom in here, but they are only distant minor players for me. This, along with Habit Rouge Privé, are probably my favorite 2020s releases from the brand. A very well-made iris scent. Of course, Habit Rouge being a flanker, I think this is Delphine's best original creation. After this, the collection kind of turned full-on commercial. Think there was also a change in management. After this, they went full sweet, tonka and vanilla. There was tobacco honey, the 3 woods, some lukewarm releases. The bottles also changed, even the prices increased. So it's almost like a new phase for the brand after this. And on top of that, this seems to have been discontinued, which is unfortunate. Maybe they will replace it with some gourmand, sweet iris fragrance. Let's wait and see. Next is a Cartier exclusive, very much underrated, L'Arc Promesse from 2009, composed by the renowned perfumer Mathilde Laurent. This is a soft, powdery iris fragrance that sits comfortably in the same realm as La Pausa from Chanel and Hermès from Hermès. However, it takes that familiar iris profile in a more musky, woody, altogether smoother direction. Yes, the violet-tinged iris is present, but it's beautifully balanced by warm musks and a gentle blanket of sandalwood. The musk in the dry down is what makes this fragrance for me, because there are a lot of iris fragrances that start off nice, but then go off a cliff because of not giving the same attention to the dry down. This is a clear exception. After that, from 2006, this is Dante Bha from Frederic Malle, composed by Maurice Roussel. Another one focused on musks after Musk Ravageur, except this is a clean, sheer type of musk this time around. It has this fresh, floral violet, creamy, woody quality, but the main player is the synthetic raw material called cashmere. It also makes this scent quite abstract. There is this cooling, camphoraceous, aniseic quality initially, but with time, the fragrance starts to warm up gradually and dries down to this musky, somewhat skin-like smell as per the name. Just a fantastic take on musks. Okay, so that's the main list. Now I will just showcase a limited release and some samples I enjoy that are worth looking into. From 2020, this is Porte Sapo from Roberto Greco, composed by Rodrigo Flores. This is a floral aldehydic musk centered on narcissus, very abstract and strikingly original, much like the other two in the collection. There are some aldehydes, sheer, soapy, soft, evoking the idea of skin along with the florals. The narcissus is beautifully nuanced, green, fresh, yet also waxy and musky. It's supported by iris, rose and jasmine, which add a floral complexity. The fragrance opens clean and luminous, then shifts into this sort of salty, brisk woodiness. As it dries down, it settles into a musky, powdery skin scent, helped by the blend of florals, sandalwood and patchouli, and what might be the most compelling use of Akigala wood that I have experienced. It is more approachable than the other two releases from this line, but it is probably not as easygoing as the other fragrances on this list. After that is the highly underrated Musk Pallida from the Hermès collection, composed by Christine Nagel. Along with Cardamom Musk, these are perfume essences with no alcohol. The pricing also reflects that. The name is clearly a play on Iris Pallida, and you do get it in full bloom. Floral facets first, followed by waxy, woody, earthy tones, with just a hint of green vegetal freshness. There's a moody elegance to it, but thanks to a generous dose of musks, it avoids the cold, melancholic territory Iris sometimes falls into. Instead, it becomes warm, cocooning, and softly sensual. Though it is not mentioned, I detect classic floral nuances, powdery violet and so forth, maybe even something aldehydic and soapy, all resting on a soft sandalwood base. It's a splendid iris musk composition, very much in line with the Hermès DNA. Next are some samples. I like these, but I don't think I need a bottle right now. First is Musc Sab from Les Indémodables, composed by Antoine Lee. It's mostly these soft, cuddly white musks, a lot of dry, fluffed up iris. Some compare this to Musk Fragrances. Frankly, I myself don't get any of that. What it brings to mind is a beautiful, organic fabric dyeing shop, in that it is reminiscent of freshly prepared, clean, white thread bundles with a touch of earth and starch, teetering on turning lactonic. Still has this hazy, dreamlike quality. In the dry down, it becomes more warm, expansive, and powdery. It's exquisitely done, certainly one of the best in its class. After that, from 2018, this is La Peau Nue from Celine. This is closest to an all-out iris fragrance in this collection, but the musks also play a prominent role. It is this makeup, lipsticky, powdery iris overload. They seem to have consciously avoided violet and ambrette. There's not too much sweetness either, which can go into the Moulin Rouge territory. Instead, this one has a rice powder note, which reins in the sweetness and adds this dry, salty, savory touch. It's very good. Again, I just don't think I need a full bottle right now. And last is Equestrious from Parfum d'Empire, obviously composed by Marc-Antoine Courtigato. This is sort of a culmination of the different scent profiles we discussed so far. There is the powdery, musky facets, balancing the iris and violet. The powderiness and muskiness are amped up even further by a combination of ambrette and rice powder. There is even a touch of cacao thrown in, all settling down in this bed of suede. It's apparently a nod to the breath of a horse that the perfumer owned, a slightly non-traditional composition from this brand, but nicely done nonetheless. So that's been my rundown of clean musk fragrances. And as always, thanks for watching, take care and ciao.